Hey, let me show you some problems off this recent handout we did. Even though we can't work the square root of 18 out like we could the square root of 9 or the square root of 16, there are some things that we can do by looking at the factors that make the 18. 18, if we were to factor it, we would have a 2, a 3, and a 3. Because we have two 3's, that's the same thing as having a 9. And we can always take the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is a 3, but unfortunately this radical, this 2 here, will stay inside of the radical. Okay? This step here, I don't need you to write that for me. The square root of 48, if we were to look at the prime factors for that, it would be a 2 and a 24, which would be a 2 and a 12, which would be a 2 and a 6, which would be a 2 and a 3. All of those numbers make a 48. We have a pair of 2's. Two 2's make a 4. We can work that out. We have another two 2's, which makes another 4. We can work that out. Unfortunately, the 3 will remain inside the radical. The 2 that we pull out here, the 2 that we pull out here will multiply together to become 4. Remember, you multiply those. 80. 80 is a 10 and an 8. An 8 is a 2, a 2, and a 2. And a 10 is a 2 and a 5. So we have a pair of 2's that we can work out, another pair of 2's that we can work out, but just like earlier with that 3, we'll have to leave that 5 indoors. 720. 720 is a 10 and a 72. A 10 is a 2 and a 5. Let's work on that 72. A 72 is a 2 and a 36. A 36 is a 6 and a 6. So 2 times 3 is one of the 6's. 2 times 3 is another one of your 6's. We have a pair of 2's that we can work out. Another pair of 2's that we can work out. And we have a pair of 3's that we can work out. Unfortunately, there is a 5 there that doesn't pair up with anything. The 2 that we worked out here with the one we work out here make 4, and then this 3 makes a 12. Remember, you are multiplying those things. Work with letters. I use the analogy of thinking of pairs of shoes. The square root of x, there's just not enough information there to do anything, so we do nothing. Square root of x squared is an x, because x times x is x squared. Think of it like this. If you have 2, you have exactly one pair. X to the third is going to be an x times the square root of x. 2 goes into 3 one time. That 1 gets pulled out. Unfortunately, there's 1 left inside. 2 goes into 4, x squared, no remainder. 2 goes into 5, x squared will come out. Unfortunately, there's a remainder of 1. So think of it as pairs. X to the 15th. If you have 15, that means you have 7 pairs. Unfortunately, there is an extra. X to the 16th. 16th is exactly 8 pairs. Nothing extra. The way you'll do these problems is you'll do the number and then do the letter one at a time. 24 is a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 3. X to the 6, y to the 8th. We have a pair of 2's here that we can pull one of those out. Unfortunately, this other 2 and this other 3 have to stay inside. So a 2 comes out, leave myself a little bit of a gap. 2 and 3 go back together to make a 6. X to the 6, now with the letters I'm looking for pairs. X to the 6 is exactly 3 pair, no remainder. Y to the 8th is exactly 4 pair, no remainder. 48 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Very easy thing to do with your calculator. 2 2's go together to make a 4, you can work that out. 2 more 2's go together to make a 4, you can work that out. Unfortunately, this 3 will stay inside. So 2 2's coming out. 2 times 2 is a 4. Leave your 3 inside. X to the third. Third. That is exactly 1 pair, but there's 1 left over. 2 goes into 3 1 time with a remainder of 1. 7. Y to the 7th. 2 goes into 7 3 times with a remainder. And this last one, 60, is 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. I have a pair of 2's that I can work out. Unfortunately, the 3 and the 5 will have to stay inside. 2 works out. 3 and 5, 15, remains inside. X to the 6. 6, there's exactly 3 pairs with nothing, no remainder. Y to the 5th. Y to the 5th. 5 is 2 pairs with 1 left over. Hey, have a nice day. Clean your rooms. Stay healthy. Hope you don't get sick.